All right, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about cold calling. I want to show you a lot of content this year on this channel about cold calling. I want to show you real conversations with clients, how I close deals, how I reach out, what I say, what's the tactics, what's the strategies, all those sort of things. So in this very first video, we're going to cover strategy first so that when I show you actual calls later, those calls make sense in the context of the strategy. And what I want to show you is what I think is the easiest way to start cold calling. It doesn't require you to be some crazy, loud, aggressive sort of salesperson. This is something that anyone can do. I built this myself and I'm introverted. I don't like spammy stuff. I don't like weird stuff. I don't like having a 10-page script that I got to get through in like 4 minutes. I like to keep it really, really simple, but at the same time, get results. I want to get sales. I want to be effective if I'm cold calling. I want to get these deals. I want to make sure that I have a real approach that works. So what I'm going to cover is a really, really good strategy for cold calling. And again, I feel like anyone can use this. If you have any questions on this as we go through it, just let me know down below. But as you watch this video and then the next few videos, as I have actual calls, this should start to make a lot of sense. So first, let's just look at our overall goal here with what we're trying to do for our own business. So our end goal is to get a sale, which is obvious enough. We want to get to this point that we're getting a sale, but we're going to start somewhere when we start reaching out to these people. So this is our starting point, and there's going to be a gap. I mean, for cold calling, by the very nature of cold calling, these people don't know us. They don't know who we are. They likely don't know how we can help them. They mightn't even know that they have a problem. So we have this gap to try get up here. We're going to reach out to these people, and our end goal is to get up here where hopefully, they see a need for what we offer. They're interested in working with us. They feel that we could do a good job. The price is right. The value is right. They want to get these results so we could get them, and we close this deal. Now the thing is, and this is where I feel a lot of people go wrong with cold calling, is they try to do all of this in one sale. So they reach out to whatever business, and they're trying to get the whole way up here in one call. And to me, this is just not realistic because there's so much you got to do here. And to try to do it all at once, just calling someone out of the blue on the phone, they're not expecting to talk to you. They might be doing a million different other things. It's not going to work. And just to kind of break it down quickly, why this isn't possible one call, to build up a sale. So to go from people not knowing you to actually getting a sale. I mean, some of the things, and there's a lot of different things, some of the stuff you have to do, okay, so straight away you got to build interest, you got to build rapport, you got to build trust, you got to find out about their situation, you got to find potential problems that they need solved, you got to see what goals they're going to want to hit, like what's important to the business, what are they actually wanting to invest in, what's the motivation behind them spending, money. So goals. You're going to want to talk about budget. You're going to want to talk about price. Then you're going to actually close the deal. So the details, the deal. So this is just some of the stuff you got to do to build a sale. And of course, for each one of these, there might be a lot of little things in that section. So to do all of this at once, completely out of the blue, you reach out to someone, hey, I got this deal. You can, this is how you can trust me. These are the past results that I got. I want to know about your situation. I want to know your problem. What's your goals? What's your budget? What's your price? Okay, here's the deal. And to try to do that all in one conversation is just not realistic. And this is where a lot of people go wrong with cold calling. And it's why a lot of people are afraid of cold calling or are very nervous to cold call, because in their head, they're thinking they have to do all of this in one go. And that just puts so much pressure on people. And at the same time, it's not realistic. So it's not even going to happen. But then you're there feeling, oh, what am I going to say? I got to go through all these sections. I got to close the deal. I got to say everything correct, or it's never going to work. So you're putting all this pressure on yourself to try to do something that in the first place is very unlikely to work. So what I do is I'm not cold calling to do all of this in one go. I'm cold calling to just start the relationship. So I set myself a much smaller goal, and I'll get into this goal in a second. And then what I'm trying to do is just get to here, and then later I'm trying to get up to here with the full sale. And basically this second section, and I'll get into that later in other videos, and I actually have content on this already. This is a sales conversation. That's what I call it anyway. So this section here is a sales conversation. So this is the time that we put aside. Either I meet them in person, or we get on Zoom, or we have a phone call. And I go through a lot of these different things at this stage. I'm not trying to do it in the beginning. I'm trying to do it once I have their attention, once I have their interest, once they're focused. They're expecting the call, they've planned some time aside, they're focused, and then as much as possible, and I'll get into that right now, I've built up some trust with them. I've already built some rapport. I've shared some past results. I've built up their interest. So that's giving me a really good chance once I get to this stage, once we start the sales conversation, of getting to the sale. But I'm not trying to do that on the first call because, again, it's not realistic. It's so much pressure. And then it's just, again, it's too many stages. I'm contacting these people completely out of the blue and I'm trying to do a million different things. They don't even know who I am. So I don't want to do that way. I just don't think it's realistic. So what I'm trying to do is just call up people and get to this first stage. And this first stage is basically them agreeing and seeing the value of having a sales conversation. So if I can reach out to them, do a few different things, and I'm going to get into that right now, and then build things up to a point where they're like, okay, next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I'm going to give you an hour. We'll get on a phone call and we'll talk about this in more detail. To me, that's the goal of a cold call. It's not to get the whole way to here. It's to get to this first stage, line up the sales conversation, and then once it's lined up, then I move into the next stage, which is the sales conversation. And I kind of judge, obviously they're connected, but I judge these two different stages differently. So when I'm looking at my cold calls, I'm not looking at, am I getting sales? I'm looking at, am I getting a lot of sales conversations? And then when I do sales conversations, then I'm looking at, okay, how are my sales conversations going? Am I getting a lot of sales? So these, to me, are two different stages, and I'm gonna judge them differently. I'm gonna track them differently, and I'm gonna use very different techniques and very different approaches. In here, they're expecting to talk to me. They already know some things about me. They know what I've done. They know what the conversation is about. So I can approach this very, very differently, and I can go through these sort of questions. In the beginning, they're not expecting this call. They don't know who I am. This is completely out of the blue. So I can't jump ahead that fast. I got to just start at the beginning and use some basic things to kick off this relationship. So hope this all makes sense. I know it's a little bit scribbly. And again, as I post up more videos of actually doing this, this is going to start making more sense. What I'm going to do now is just break down this step in a lot more detail. So again, what I'm doing here is, let me draw this out again. So this is my starting point, and my goal with cold calling again is not to sell, it's just this first step. So I'm going to draw on the first step up here, which is to line up a sales conversation. So if I can do, let's say, 50 cold calls and I can line up 10 conversations, then to me that's good cold calling. Like that's, 10 potential really good conversations to build up a sale, and out of those 10 sales conversations I should get a couple of sales. So again, with cold calling, what I'm trying to do is just start off and get to this point where I have a good number of sales conversations. Now to do this, I actually even break this step up. I usually break it into two different stages. So I actually have the cold call, which is this halfway point. So let me draw this in, cold call. And then I actually have a sequence of emails, which is the second stage. And again, I'm going to show you real examples of this pretty soon on this YouTube channel. So first stage, again, I'm just making this as easy as possible. I want to break it down into very simple steps. I don't want to put pressure on myself. I want to make it easy for me and easy for the person that I'm calling. And really what I'm trying to do as well is just the natural flow of a sale. A sale is a relationship. You're trying to build up a relationship with somebody. You're trying to connect to these people and show that, hey, I can help your business. I can help you achieve your goals. I can take away the problems that you have. So I'm trying to build that relationship naturally. Again, I'm not trying to go from zero to we're working together in like 2 minutes. I'm trying to do this over a couple of days, maybe even a week or longer, and just build it up naturally at a nice pace. Of course, moving as well as I can, but without like being weird, like trying to push it unnaturally forwards. So this first cold call, all I'm trying to do really is get their attention, get some interest, put myself on their radar so they now know who I am. They know, generally why I've reached out to them. And that's kind of my goal to the first cold call. Then after that, I follow up with a series of emails that then just help line up the sales conversation. Again, I'm going to show you real examples of this, but in general, what I would do is I would reach out to a business, and whenever I'm cold calling, I always have past results. I don't just cold call, what I'm recommending is you don't just cold call if you have no projects. You should have at least one project to try leverage. It's going to make it a lot easier. So I always use some past results when I cold call. So I'll look at my past results, figure out who's the best person based on my past results to now contact next. I'll approach those people. So when I call them up, I could say, hey, what's going on? My name is Rob. Look, I'm reaching out to you because I worked with a similar business to yours recently. We got some great results. I'm just in the process of typing up an email to just share with you some of the results that we got. And I just wanted to reach out first so you're expecting the email and that you know that it's coming from a real person. That would literally be, that's pretty much it for my cold call. Now they might say a million different things and I have no idea what they're gonna say. So that's why I don't script too far ahead. I only kind of plan out the rough idea of my call. So I might call up and say this. Some person might say, that's great, cool, send over the email, I check it out. Some other person might say, hey, what's this about? And then I'll explain a little bit more. They might be interested, they might not be interested. Somebody might have some more questions. So it can go in a lot of different directions, but I'm always keeping this goal really, really simple. I don't want to go too far ahead of myself at the stage because I know it's not realistic at this point to have this full sales conversation. It's actually better to keep this call nice and quick. Just say that you're sending an email, cover a couple of points, why you call them generally, who you are, introduce yourself, explain that you're going to send them an email, explain roughly what's in the email, and that's pretty much enough. You're now on their radar, they know who you are, and you can wrap up the call. It's easy for them, it's easy for you, and that's just enough to kick off the relationship. So that's my goal with the first phone call. I'm going to show you real examples of this really soon, so again, you'll have even more context. But after this, this call might be a minute long, maybe 2 minutes long. Hang up the phone, we're both happy. I start sending these emails. So the first email I might send, again, just introducing myself, why I reached out to them, why I feel like I can help their business, and then sharing some other results. Like, hey, I worked with these people recently. This is the sort of stuff we've done. Here's the problems they had. Here's how I've figured out to solve those problems. Here's the sort of results that we got. Here's where their business is now. And what I want to do is hopefully get on a phone call with you, see what you're trying to do, and see if there's some different things that we can work on together. So obviously it's said a little bit better than that in the email, but that's the general idea of the email. Now it might take one email to line up a sales conversation. It might take a couple of emails. They might have a question. I might have to answer the question. Maybe they're busy for a week, so I got to check in later. But whatever it is, I'm just sending multiple emails and getting me to this goal of getting a sales conversation. So pretty easy process here. And as I show the real videos of like actual examples of doing this, you'll see how simple this can be. But very, very basic cold call. This is literally 1 to 2 minutes. Hey, I'm reaching out to you. I worked with some similar businesses. I was just putting together an email that I'm going to send to you. So you have this it's relevant, it's urgent. Like I'm sending this email right now, but I just wanted to reach out first so you know it's coming from a real person and you expect the email, something like that. And I'll give you real examples. So do this first cold call. They agree to get the email. That's an easy thing for them to say yes to. It allows you to finish the call nice and easy, but one step towards a sale. The call is finished. You start sending your emails over the next few days. Here's the results that you got for other people. Here's why you want to talk to them. Here's the sort of problems you can help them with. Here's the value of getting on a sales conversation. And again, you don't have to do a full sale here. Of course, you just have to get them interested enough to give you 30 minutes, 60 minutes of their time, and then you get to the sales conversation. Then on the sales conversation, you can switch gears. You're now at this stage, and then you can start doing all these other things. You can start building trust even more, figuring out, what's going on with their business right now, what's their situation, what's their context, what are they up to, what problems have they been struggling with, what's, wasting their time, what's wasting their money, what's causing them stress, what are they stuck with, what can't they figure out, what's their goals for the next few months, for the next year. Then with those goals, what are they most motivated to act on? What are they most interested in doing? What's their top priorities? And then with that, what budget do they have for that? What are they willing to spend to get these sort of results? What does it make sense to spend to get those sort of results? And then what price it might make sense for you guys to work with, and then starting to figure out the deal and the details and what exactly you would work on, what exactly you would do, what sort of results you might be likely to get for them. So that's it for this first video on cold calling. I know this might seem a little bit abstract right now just because it's 100% strategy, but very soon on the channel, I'll have real examples and we can start piecing this together. So hope that helps. Any questions, let me know down below. Let me know your feedback as well. Hope you got value out of this, and see you in another video very soon.